Welcome back to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. Today I have a special guest to inspire you to really follow the messiness and actually just take really imperfect action and to trust that things will never be perfect, but that things are there for a reason and there is a plan for you, and you have the power to change not just your life, but other people's lives as well. You must remember, hopefully, a past guest of mine, LeeAnne Ruff. She's back on the podcast. Let me tell you a little bit more about her. She is the founder of The Bright Side and business coach and mentor to business women and entrepreneurs and men worldwide. She has been an expert in the direct sales industry for over 30 years, first as a leader in the field and then with various titles in the corporate office of some of the most highly regarded companies in the industry. LeeAnne's passion is mentoring individuals to 6 or 7 figure success. And thanks to the amazing opportunities that network marketing provides, she can do that. And she has a tell it like it is approach based on her years of building a business herself. But that's not all. With her incredible story, she inspires crowds to their feet and helps those who listen gain the self-confidence they need to excel in any area of their lives. She is also the mom of 4 incredible humans and a grandma of 6. She lives on a farm in the Adirondack Mountains of New York with her husband of 34 years, John. She is in the process of authoring a book and updating her website and blog, and I believe co-hosting a new podcast as well, which we will get linked up below. And you can visit her at leeannruff.wordpress.com. And in the meantime, find her on her Facebook page, The Bright Side Coaching. So without further ado, here's LeeAnne. If you're ready to get inspired about, taking imperfect, messy action and just being part of the whole process and just reveling in it, then you're going to love this one. Here she is. LeeAnne Ruff, welcome back to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. I am thrilled to have you in my presence again.
I am so excited that you wanted to have me back. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I saw you in a community that I, doing some consulting work recently, for a brand that I have been falling in love with in the clean beauty space. And I was just like, man, I miss LeeAnne's energy. And it kind of reminded me that I needed to go back to the previous episodes that you and I have done here on the Urban Pharmacy Podcast and just re-inspire my own self through your words and your wisdom, because you are full of so much of it. And it's just like, you are just so, to me, you're like a magnet. So I just want more LeeAnne, and that is part of my success atmosphere. So I just want to thank you for being part of my success atmosphere and my success, environment. And today we were just kind of chatting, over Messenger, like, well, what could we talk about? And you were like, messy success. And I was like, yes, please. Because one of my mottos is striving for perfection. It always leads to inaction. And Absolutely. It's always better to just take imperfect action. So
100%.
And that's what messy success means to me. So I want to help to inspire the listeners today about messy success and how dang important it is, because we literally just think so deeply about things that we just sit there and don't do anything, and we let our life pass us by.
Well,
happens to me.
This topic is really important to me, and I was just thinking about it a couple weeks ago, and I don't know what got me. I was probably watching stuff on TikTok, and the things that come up for me on TikTok are always these motivational speakers, all this, self-help, self-care, all this. And I thought, you know what, man, I built a business and a family, and I was so messy about it. I didn't journal every day. I didn't get up at 5 a.m. and go do a workout before my kids were lucky. I was out of bed and, trying to get them out the door. Like, I was so messy. And I think that we are flooded with all these messages of here's how you do it. make sure you do this if you want to be successful. Make sure you are listening to all these affirmations. Make sure you are doing this, this, and this for success. And you know what? All those are great advice, and they work for some people. That's wonderful. But the thing is I don't want anyone to feel bad if they don't do those things. I don't want anyone to think they're a failure if they're not following this pattern of success that people have told them they need to do in order to find fulfillment, because that's just not true.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be highly successful. I have 4 grown adult children who are highly successful, and they witnessed me do it in a very messy way. And like I said, the key is to not feel like you're doing something wrong or that you are a failure for not following what someone tells you to do in order to be successful. Because for every millionaire that you read about, there are people who are millionaires that did it a different way, and it's
Right.
all okay.
Yeah.
So it just was weighing on my heart, like how many women are thinking, I can't do this because I can't do it that way.
Right.
And that's what I want to change. Like, you don't have to be perfect at doing all the things, and
Yeah.
you can still be highly fulfilled and successful.
So I love that you said that you grew, you have grown children, they're all doing well. And honestly, LeeAnne, I can't imagine you doing motherhood that messily. And I know that
Oh,
messily is
oh,
probably not a word, but
thank
I'm
you.
just saying from the
Right.
outside looking at LeeAnne, like I really do feel like you are a super successful woman, and like you had to have had some sort of organization to get to where you are. But it's nice to hear that it wasn't all about just fitting in that box. It wasn't about, I'm doing this, like, like all, there are people out there that are saying, the 5 a.m. club and millionaires, like, this is how you do
Right.
it. And but it doesn't have to be that way. And so for the women out there that are thinking about stepping into something new that's going to push them out of their comfort zone, which is likely going to be a new income
Mhm.
stream endeavor, right? Some sort
Right.
of entrepreneurial thing. Maybe it's some, nonprofit that they want to create, or maybe they want to jump into direct to consumer marketing and, kind of share like I do and help impact people with their health and also create a nice stream of income. Like, how in the world do we break free from this mold that we feel like we have to fit inside of, in order to take the step towards success? I mean, it's going to be messy, but like, how do we break free from that mindset? Because I think that we know that it's mostly mindset.
It is mindset. And let me just be clear. You are talking to the woman who forgot it was Valentine's Day and sent her first grader off to school without Valentine's Day cards or anything, and then realized later in the day that it was actually Valentine's Day and that the kids were all exchanging cards. Yeah, that was me. I was messy. I was very messy.
I relate to that very much.
Yeah. But the thing is, I was good at the things that really mattered, right? And that's what I think we need to do. Like when you are looking at a new opportunity, you're looking at shifting things in your life, taking a risk at something, right? You have to be willing to embrace mistakes, understanding that you're going to make them. You're going to fail at things, but you're not the failure. That's really key to understand. And that growth comes in a non-linear progression. Growth comes by going sideways sometimes. Growth comes by a zigzag, but it's still growth. It's learning. Learning is growth. And when you start to embrace that, well, geez, that didn't work, but what did I learn from it? Then you will start to realize that you too can be successful in whatever path you decide to take. it's your own path. It's no one else's. It's your life. And how I want you all to think about this. If you're listening to this and you've got that yeah buts.
Mm.
I want you to get rid of the big buts, right? You don't need that big butt. I would want you to be thinking about, what if your child came to you and said, Mom, what do you think if I gave this a try? Would you say, yeah, but I don't think you should, because that's not the typical path of success? You wouldn't talk to your child that way. You would be like, go for it. You can do it. You're amazing. At least I hope you would.
Yes, right. Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm going to
So,
touch on that in a minute.
so the thing is that however you would encourage your kids to find success, you need to start internalizing that and encouraging yourself. And understand that we are adaptable beings. We can pivot. We can adjust when faced with challenges or opportunities, right? And because of that, no matter what you decide to do or how you decide to do it, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through anything that comes at you, because you've already proven that in your lives. You've already gotten through every obstacle that you've made it through to be here listening to this podcast right now, right? So that's not going to change as
Right.
things come at you in your life. That's not going to change.
Oh, I love that so much. And here's something that this might be, I mean, this is walking down the same path that you're saying, but I will say that, and I highly doubt my parents are listening, but one of my parents was like that, like, Stacey, you can do anything that you want. Anything you set your mind to, you can do it. And another one was like, okay, oh, but, and, oh, wait, and a little bit of fear behind the things that maybe I wanted to do. And so that for me kind of, like growing up, I was a little fearful of taking risks and stuff like that, even though I was no perfect child, that's for sure. Or perfect teen, yeah, anyways, but, my point is that, like, generationally, it is up to us, even if we did grow up with maybe not those positive words,
Right.
and encouragement, it's okay for us to break that pattern and to, encourage the people in our life or our children, to do what they really do want to do and to really empower them. And I just wanted to bring that up because I have noticed, and doing some like deep inner work, I actually realized, like when I did a storyboard and stuff like that, oh man, there were some people in my life that really did kind of hold me back a little bit, and not like to blame them, but like that put a little fear in me, and I think that that's normal. Like there's people in our environment and like our social circle that do the same thing, right? Like people who you think are your best friends, but they're like, yeah, that sounds like a fun idea, but what about this?
What are you going to do if this happens? And what are you going to do if that happens? And what are people going to think? What are people going to say? Right. But see, here's the beauty of our lives is we get to choose. We get to choose the action that we take. We get to choose how we raise our children. Maybe you weren't raised that way, but you get to choose how you do it. Right. It's generational. It's based on how, the cultures that they were raised in, but you get to decide from here on out how to speak to your kids, how to raise your kids, and how to continue on your own journey as well. And, I think that that's the key here. It's in being authentic to who you are and saying, it's okay if people don't like my choices. It's okay if they think I'm being too risky. It's okay if they think, wow, she's switched companies to go do this other thing. It's okay. That's on them. That's their opinion. That is not yours. And I think that's the key here is making a conscious decision to say, this is who I am. These are my choices. I want to live this way. I know that I can pivot if I need to. I know that if this doesn't work out, I'm going to be okay. I can find something else to do, or a different path to take, right? It's being confident that you are the captain of your own ship, and staying true to who you are. Authenticity is the highest frequency. And
Oh,
so if you are living in that highest frequency, you're going to attract like people.
oh,
And so you've got to be authentic to who you are. And that's what your kids will watch you do as well. And that's the frequency they will pick up on.
And not just the kids, but also our friends, like also our social
Absolutely.
circle, our family. Like it kind of, LeeAnne, it's almost like, like when you say, and I actually had a client, like a nutrition client, say this a few days ago, like, well, what do you do when you go to, the family gatherings and they have like these specific foods? Because I was telling her about the choices that I make with my food at this current state in my time, after doing a lot of work on myself and understanding about food addiction. I actually grew up really addicted to processed foods. And I have, at 39, I'm almost 39, like I have finally realized, oh my God, I actually had something that's like a real like diagnosis, if you will. And we're going to be hearing so much more about it in the next decade, which is food addiction. And it's not to say that I was ever obese, but like, if you give me a tortilla chip, I'm eating the bag. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So so I have like hard lines when it comes to food. And they're like, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I just say like, oh no, thank you. I'm going to choose this over here instead.
Yeah.
And actually that frequency, that choice of mine inspires them. And I said, it's not that they're going to think that I'm judging them. It's
Right.
truly about my choice and the frequency that I want to create, like in my body, and the choices that I make. And that can actually radiate out to people in a positive way. And it really is all about that like mindset reframe, right? Like instead of thinking, well, what are they going to think of me if I don't eat that? Right. It's more like, well, maybe I can inspire them if I don't. Right. And so that just, it all is all about frequency, truly. Hey, before we get too far into this episode, I want to tell you about adaptogenic mushrooms. Now, if you've never heard of mushroom coffee, let me be the first to introduce you. And if you have heard of mushroom coffee, let me tell you a little backstory. I actually have been making my own mushroom coffee for years now. Basically, what I did was blended together different adaptogenic mushrooms and other adaptogens, such as ashwagandha and lucuma and other things, to help my body just deal with stress, to help support my thyroid, to help reduce cancer, to help reduce inflammation, help my gut health and my cognition, and more. And I am so excited to tell you that I no longer have to make my own, because I found an even better one. Now, if you've been following along at any length, you know that I've found this new European skincare brand. It's all based on olive leaf and the olive tree. And I have been getting great, wonderful, lovely results, because I've been not only using these skin products topically, but also taking some internal products that are based off of the olive leaf. And this new mushroom coffee that I found is no different. It is from the same amazing brand called Olive Tree People. And you can get all the details down in the show notes and shop. But the coolest thing about this mushroom coffee is that it not only has these beautiful adaptogenic mushrooms that help my body deal with stress and help me feel better and have better mental clarity and energy, but it also has anti-inflammatory chai spices such as turmeric and cinnamon and clove and ginger and black pepper and a little chili. And all of these support the immune system. In addition, there's a little bit of cacao to add depth of flavor. And the best part, it's made with ground olive leaf. Now, I have to do a whole episode really on the benefits of olive leaf, because it is phenomenal, the science that's behind this amazing plant that we don't talk nearly enough about. I know you hear about olive oil, right? But olive leaf is truly where the medicine lies. So I have been drinking, our whole family has been drinking this mushroom coffee that tastes just like chai, and it has the beautiful ground olive leaf in it. These olive leaves have never been touched by pesticides, chemicals, or anything outside of nature. And they come straight from the groves of Spain. And I am just excited beyond belief to share this brand new product that I have been drinking now for a month and a half, but it's finally out to the public. It's called Olive Mush. And again, it's from the beautiful brand called Olive Tree People, based in Europe. And you can get your hands on it right now. I want to encourage you, if you do go and shop the Olive Mush, I want to let you know, first off, you're going to be getting a recipe booklet from me. If you do buy Olive Mush, I am going to be launching a whole little booklet of whole food plant-based drinks and recipes using the olive mush, because let me tell you, you can actually bake with it too.
It is. And see, this is the thing, right? If you aren't judging someone, then they're not going to feel that you're judging someone, right?
Yeah,
Because that's
right.
not the energy you're putting out.
Mm.
And if they do think you're judging them and you're not, then that is on them. That is not on you. So
Right.
if your intent is to be like, hey, awesome, thank you so much for the offer, but I'm going to choose something different.
Yeah.
How they choose to perceive that is only on them, not on you. If you are not of like, yeah, well, boy, she shouldn't be eating that, if that's not how you are viewing it and thinking it, and then that's not how you're going to be perceived unless they have some issues that they're trying to work through.
Yeah.
So, it's again, it's all goes back to just being authentic.
Yeah.
If getting up at 5 a.m. every morning and meditating doesn't jive for you, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. And I think that's what I really want people to know and understand is it's okay not to do it in the quote unquote perfect way that others have done it. I want to hear what other people do. I want to hear success journeys. I love that. I think it's educational. I think we learn from it. We find things that will work for us, but you should never feel bad if you make a different choice,
Right.
because you can and will be successful as long as you have the momentum and the action to get there.
Yeah.
Right? When we feel like, oh, I can't do it that way, what do? We stop, we freeze. We're like, all right, well, that's not going to work. So I might as well eat the whole bag of chips, right? I might as well sit and watch 10 episodes on Netflix of this stupid comedy, right? We feel like we can't do it anyway, so I'm going to do this other thing. And that's where I feel like I want to be the voice in your head that says, that's okay. It's okay. If I didn't journal today, it's okay.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm going to still show up and learn more about, I'm going to find a podcast. I'm going to find something else that's going to help me on my specific journey that's authentic to me, that'll work for me.
Yeah, that's so good. So the more that I have worked with women in business, and the more that I work and coach women in like nutrition and holistic living, the more that I learn, it really is not about fitting into the mold. Like it really is finding what's going to work for you. And I love how you just keep bringing that up, like that 5 a.m. thing. Like if that does not work for you, don't stress out about it. Like how can you make it work? Instead of saying, well, I don't want to get up at 5, so I'm just not going to do anything at all. Like, how do we make our own mold? And this kind of brings me to something that I saw on Instagram, or maybe somebody dropped it into like a thread that I'm in. I can't remember where. It was on social media, and it was literally about, oh, I remember. It was my friend Jen Shelton. I got to give you a shout out, Jen. And it was like this man saying like, well, it was actually about God. And it was saying like, God never puts you in the same race as other people. Like you are in your own race. It's all your own race. Like this is, you're not, up against anybody else. Like, so we have to focus on our own race. Like, and I think the most important thing is to just figure out like, how do we tick? Like, how can we be successful? And then just within this topic, I think it has to do a lot with business too. Like for some people, they can thrive on social media. Like if they're sharing their business and marketing them, branding themselves social media wise, that's great. Some people do really well just personally, one-on-one. And I think that again, we just have to find our path and what works for us and like really lean in on that, you know, and it's hard these days to not compare and to not feel like
Oh my goodness.
we're behind.
Yeah. There's a really big movement in our industry, in the direct sales industry, about affiliates and influencers and versus the traditional model of building a business in direct sales. And I mentor and work with some of the very top folks in the industry who are working their businesses. And I remember having a conversation with one of these gals, and she was like, you know, I need to be an influencer. I need to be an influencer in order to grow and get the sales and do what these other people are doing to be competitive. And so I asked her, I said, so is that the lifestyle you want though? Do you like having to think about pictures and taking lots of pictures and all that? And she's like, well, no, I don't. I said, then don't think you have to fit into that mold. You can still build the business that you want in the way you want to build it, and let other people stay in their lane and do it the way they want. You stay in yours. And you know what? She climbed to the top, very top rank of her company.
Wow.
When she let go of like, well, look at, she just joined and she's doing crazy business. And thinking that she needed to change. And she didn't need to change. She needed to do what she was good at and what she was passionate about. Because maybe that person had no desire to build a team and be helping and coaching and training and like the traditional model is with building a team. So, you know, there's room at the table for everyone. And we all just need to say, I'm going to do it my way. And that's okay. It's okay. You can be successful when you're authentic to who you are. I'll just keep going back to that. And here's the other thing that I want to stress, because someone's might be thinking, okay, well then, but how do I do that? It's when you align to your purpose. When you are aligned to where you want to go, you have a vision for your life. You know what success looks like for you, what it is going to mean for you, how it can impact your life. When you are aligned with that purpose, you are very passionate about what you do. And when you're passionate about something, people are attracted to that. If you have a product that you absolutely love and you're passionate about it, you can't sleep at night because you want to help so many people find out about it, right? So if you shed all the self-limiting beliefs, you shed the thought that you have to do it a certain way, and you focus on what your passions are, why you're passionate about that particular product or that particular system, whatever it is, you will be amazed at how you attract people to you, because you're putting out an energy of authenticity and an energy of helpfulness, support of other people. People want to be helped. They want to be helped. They don't want to be sold to. They don't want to be talked to. They want connection. They want to be helped. So focus on that, and you won't have to worry about where your business is going to come from. It will be coming at you.
Yeah. I like that you brought up like the product, or if you like couldn't go to sleep at night because you're like thinking about how good this product is. Well, truth be told, I will just tell a funny story. A few nights ago, I used a new facial cleanser and I almost cried. I'm laughing. I almost cried because I was like, this facial cleanser is so nice. And it was just different than what I had used. And it's just so hilarious. Like, you know, and I've actually shared that little story with a few people, and they're like, what's so great about it? I'm like, I don't know, the way it felt, the way it smelled, I really liked it. But I think also, LeeAnne, like, so for entrepreneurs out there, and we're mostly speaking to entrepreneurs, women that want to just live like with purpose, but also create an income here. Like that's what we're talking, that's, you know, with this messy success today. What if they love the product? They love the mission. They love branding about the company and all of that stuff, but they just, they don't have a vision outside of that, like for their life, and like what they might want out of the business or how they can serve other people. Like, does that make sense? I feel like there's a lot of people that have been in my ecosystem over the last 8+ years of doing direct sales that really fall in love with the product. They have really, really great intentions. They love the brand, they love mission, they love all of that. But, and they just like, how do they find out something outside of that that's going to keep them motivated? I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I know what my visions are like for my life. Like I have that, but I will say I've had clients as well, wellness clients, they just say, well, I don't have a vision. Like, how can we find that, but align that with our brand, like the brands and the product that we love? I don't know if that made sense, but
Yeah, so that is a huge problem for women, especially, I think, or at least the women that I work with, is not having a vision.
yeah.
And if I were to ask you, if I was going to say, I'm going to give you $5 million to build your dream house, I would bet within 30 minutes you could say, well, I would want my kitchen to be like this. I would want this 3-car garage, and I would want a
A
master
yoga
bedroom with this.
studio.
Right. You could easily tell me, but if I said to you, you have 5 million hours left in your life, what do you want it to look like?
Ooh.
Right? That people get tripped up on that. Well, what do you mean? Like, what is your vision for your life? You could design a perfect house with $5 million. What do you want your life to look like? 5 million hours or minutes that you had left in your life. What would you want that to look like? And so that's what I encourage people to do. And one of the exercises I've done in some of my keynotes on this subject has been, I want you to write a letter to yourself, date it for a year from today, and acknowledge and congratulate yourself for all the things you achieved in that year. I helped my child, I paid for my child's dance lessons. We were able to go on this great vacation. We remodeled our kitchen. We did, what would you want to thank yourself for in a year? And what that does, it helps you to learn how to have a vision for your future beyond what tomorrow will look like or next week will look like. And I have people who still to this day, I've done this like 10 years ago. I did this exercise for a group, and I still have people say, I pulled out my letter that I wrote to myself, and I couldn't believe the things that I did achieve out of the letter. Right? It's just getting yourself in the mindset to take the time to think about it and do it.
Yeah.
And think about that analogy of, yeah, well, if I could design my house, I can design my life. I can think about what I want out of my life. Because here's the thing, and I think this is why some people struggle as entrepreneurs, is they don't have a clear vision, and no one wants to go with you if they don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
And so if you know this, you think about the people in your life, you think about religious leaders, politicians, educators, people who have a strong vision, they have a large following because people are attracted to people who know where they're going. We get to choose who we follow.
Yeah.
And so if you want people to follow you, if you're so passionate about a product that you want everyone to have it in their homes, you want everyone to be using it, what have you, then you need to understand where your vision lies, where you're going, so people will follow you.
Yeah.
It's really important. Think about it. You wouldn't get into a car with someone to go on a vacation if they didn't tell you what the destination was.
Right.
Why would they follow you in your business if you are unclear about what the destination is?
Yeah. Ooh, gosh. Okay. So that was really good. Um, okay. So as we start to kind of bring this full circle, this messy success topic, if once we have our vision, I guess, LeeAnne, and I'm just throwing you to the sharks here with like, we didn't plan this, but if we have our vision, we have our love for what we're selling, what we're sharing, what we know we can impact people with, and then we bring it together with that vision. We maybe do that deep work, that letter to self. What are the next three? What are the three things? Like, what are a few things at least that we can do now to start taking action on that? Like, I mean, you know, I personally just tell clients, like, just to put your feet on the ground and to think about, like, what are you going to, like, what does it look like for you, like, wellness wise? Like, what are you eating that day? Like, before you even get out of bed, just put your feet on the ground and map it out a little bit, you know, like, have to just small steps, but like, what does it look like now? How do we take messy action? Like, and it can be as detailed as you want it to be or generalized.
Well, first of all, I think we have to reframe what we think of as self-care. And, you know, we have a lot of messaging coming at us for self-care, you know, go get a massage, go get your nails done, go do. And self-care, real self-care is taking care of yourself internally, not externally. All that stuff is great.
Right.
Feel good, all of that, but it doesn't fix. It feels good for a moment to get
Right.
your nails done, to go out with your girlfriends, whatever. It doesn't fix what is bothering you internally. And so that's the first thing I would tell someone to do, is do a little self-care. Thank yourself for how far you've come. Congratulate yourself for the things you've overcome. Acknowledge who you are. Acknowledge that maybe you're a mom. Acknowledge that you are a caretaker. Acknowledge who you are in the moment now, because that's the self-care you need in order to embrace the journey of success and being able to say it's okay to be messy, to understand that you're going to embrace mistakes, to understand that it is not it's a non-linear progression, to understand that you are going to need to be adaptable, that you're going to need to have grit and persistence in order to grow, and value the journey. Those are the key things about messy success, right? Those points that I want to make, that you're going to have to embrace.
Yes.
And the first way to do that, the first step I want you to take, is embrace yourself first. Say, I'm okay. In fact, I'm pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotten
And
this far, right?
yeah, I've gotten this far. I've gotten over everything that's ever come my way. And I'm pretty darn good. And I want to now, I think the second thing is, once you work on helping yourself, there's no better feeling than going and helping someone else. So I don't know, let's just use you teach people how to shift their thinking into a healthier lifestyle, healthier foods, things like that, right? So what I would encourage people to do is, okay, who can you help with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who can you impact? Because that really feels good, to help someone else without any expectation of a return for you. And so that good feeling, that gets your mojo back. It
Yeah.
helps you get that positivity back. It helps you feel like you can make an impact. You're not just some small fish in a big pond. You are a big fish helping the other fish.
Yeah.
Right? So those are two key things that I would highly recommend. Help yourself with self-care that's internalized, and help someone else. That will help you get on your journey. And then it's all about being consistent. What
Yes.
can you do every day that, you know, who can you help every day? Make a plan. I'm going to help one person every day. Stacey, this is what I do every day. I think, who can I help one day today? One person today.
You're helping
Yesterday,
me.
I did.
It's me. I'm the person today.
I did a post on my Facebook page yesterday, and it was you know, it was something that was important to me that I wanted to share. I got a call that afternoon from a dear friend who said, I needed to hear that today. Thank you. That meant a lot to me, because something big had happened in her world. And so I came away from that saying, see, thank you. I helped one person today. Maybe others too, but you know what? My goal is, who can I help today? I just want to help one person feel empowered and understand how remarkable they are, how phenomenal they are in their own right, that you do not have to go a certain pathway. You can go your own pathway. You can be true and authentic to yourself, because that's where fulfillment lies.
Yes. Amen. Yeah, takes us to church.
Right. So I hope,
Okay.
I hope whoever's listening, if I've helped you on this podcast, reach out to me. Let me know. Let me know a takeaway. Let me know if you were inspired in some way. Let me know, are you going to change one thing about the way you think about your life? I'd love to know that. I'd love to hear from people.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So we will, okay. So you heard that. You got to reach out to LeeAnne. You got to tell her what's going on. Okay. Let's hold you accountable
Absolutely.
here. Um, Now, LeeAnne, is there anything before we wrap up that you want to leave? I mean, you just left all the things on the table. So, or where, how can we stay connected? What are you up to right now? If
Sure.
people, I'm not sure if you're taking clients or what you're doing. I mean, I feel like you work
Sure.
really high level.
Yeah, absolutely I'm always looking for more people to help. Absolutely. Whether it's a speaking gig, I travel all around the country, speaking, doing leadership retreats. I facilitate color code workshops where it helps people determine their driving core motive and how to build relationships, understanding that. I have private clients that I do mentorship with. Um, I love to write. So I have my website, which is leeanneruff.com. I have a blog on there. You can reach me via my website, of course, and follow me through my website and my social media channels. And let me know how I can help you, because I don't know if I've shared this with your listeners before, but I'll share it again if they haven't
Oh,
heard
yeah,
it,
yeah.
just real briefly. But I entered the world as an abandoned baby, unloved for months. I was in foster care. I was abused in foster care. Uh, and I was adopted and raised. I had a wonderful life. And my point in sharing all this is not for sympathy, but to show people that it doesn't matter how you enter the world. You have the ability to change the way you leave the world. And that is my goal, is changing the lives of people who don't feel that they are worthy of an extraordinary life, because I'm here to tell you, you are.
Oh,
And so follow me. I'm writing a book, so I'm excited about that. But I am just really intent on helping as many people as I can feel the power that's within you. It does not matter. My existence in this world was horrifying, horrifying. And, but I've changed all that, and you can too.
wow. Oh my gosh, LeeAnne, thank you so much. That was, no, you haven't told that story. I really don't think you have.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know what? That just, let's close it out here. That really makes me think of not just how women or people are brought into the world, but also just where you're at right now. If you're listening to this and you're literally like a brand new, you're starting something new, you're scared, you feel like you're not, like you're
What
not,
if I fail?
yeah, that you're just not, you don't have all the skills that you need, you just don't have it all figured out. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters what
Right.
happens next. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that was just so, that
That
story, that was
that's messy success right there.
so
I
good.
am the perfect example of it. So you brought it all home with that one, right? It's messy success. You can be as messy as you need to be, and you can still be highly successful and an empowering person and help others along the way.
Oh, LeeAnne, thank you so much for
Well,
your
thanks for having me.
wisdom.